Alright, so I'm going to show you some of the best sequence I have here for this boss fight. So we're going to start out with the Golden Gun Hunter. Obviously this is right at the beginning of the boss fight, so we're going to clear out these ads. You can stay up here, you're fairly safe. Don't get too close to the edge though, sometimes you can get shotgunned from right below you, but you know, take out these guys. If you need to charge up a little bit, the idea is you want to have at least 4 to 5 rockets and be really close to your super. If you need to wait, you can leave that one last guy there for a little bit. Now I like to jump on this platform. If you put yourself at the back of the platform to where this angle is on your left side here, you'll see that I can sit here and shoot the boss and reload, and he can't really shoot. You can get at least 3, usually 4, maybe even 5 rockets off if he doesn't move around too much. You do have to be careful though, and pay attention. Those first few Cabal will come down. They will launch grenades right onto you if you don't move quick enough. So you see there, we get 4 to 5 grenade rockets on him and a grenade. It will immediately start the Vex spawn. So then you can start dodging. Just start moving around the room in a circle if you need to, around the edges of it. Kind of depends on your positioning. You'll see in the Titan one a little bit later. If you get it quick, the rockets on quick enough, you can the Cabal will get kind of stuck fighting the Vex. Once you get it slightly cleared out, I like to use this block here with 2 levels on it. You can kind of sit behind the 1 level and protect yourself. You can pretty much clear out the rest of the Harpies here pretty easily. You have to kind of be cautious. They will kind of creep up behind you, you know. But if you move back and forth here, if you really need to, you can jump out, jump away, and then come back to it. But this is a great spot to finish off the Harpies and the ads here. And then once you get to the Minotaur, he can barely hurt you if you position yourself correctly like this. You can just kind of slowly whittle your way on him. So you'll see I still have my super, it's still available. This works for pretty much all the classes. Sequence can be slightly different, but again, if you die, you can reset this first part here, and we're going to do the WardCliff ammo glitch. So now if I needed to reset this, I could reset right now and do the first part over again, now that I have my 5 rockets. But we're going to go forward. I like to switch to the Sins of the Past here, just because sometimes we have to do some kiting, and I like the free auto reload with it. I usually use Sins with the Hunter, because most of the time I'm going to do this, fire 2, and then put it away. So I almost never have to reload it. I mean, you can manually. But we get our Golden Gun on him with the Nighthawk, and he's already gone. So now we can fight the ads without dealing with the boss. And we also only get the very first initial spawn of ads. We don't get the rest of them. We'll get the Harpies here in a second. The best thing you can do when the Harpies come out, if you stay at this far back end of the room, the Minotaur won't really come down and chase you. He'll just sort of sit up there. If you move up closer to him, he'll kind of jump down and I missed. And he'll kind of harass you a little bit. He'll try to melee you. You can kite him around. It doesn't really matter. But I prefer nothing. The Harpies aren't really going to damage you that much if you're getting them down quick enough. So it's easier just to stay at the back of the room. You can use the 2 platforms in the corner to jump on back here to get an angle or a vantage point, and just slowly pick off the Harpies. You can use all the leftover rockets you have to take these out quickly if you need to. But the idea of this whole sequence is to get the boss out of the first 2 encounters here, so we can get the ads and fight the ads without the boss chasing us around. So we're going to do the WardCliff pitch again. Don't forget, the Minotaur both times will drop this, so don't forget to switch to your coil before you pick this up. So now we're going to go into the last encounter with 5 rockets. And this last stage is the easiest, I feel like. This is why we want to use our super on the second one, so we don't have to do much kiting on the rockets in the first. Also, if you have the Titan, you can barricade rocket him on pretty much all 3 phases if you feel like it. the other classes, since you can't really load them fast enough on the second phase. That's why I like to shoot 1 or 2 and then super him. And with some of the very area effect supers, we can get a lot of the ads that we can do. But here, as you see, I'm going to stay at the back part of the room, and we're just going to jump back and forth in the two channels and keep him back in here. Now, one thing you have to remember is a couple of Cabal will try to come and make like a 4 corner, so there will be 1 or 2 Cabal on either side that try to advance to the corner. So always, when you spend a little bit of time in there, you have to be aware that there may be one back here. The boss himself, though, won't really advance, and he won't jump down in the back of the channel. He'll pretty much only jump in the front. So you can kind of just work your way back and forth, work on the ads a little bit, get a little bit of damage on the boss, and then jump down. Wait for the boss to come down. You can use the channel. You know that he's going to be, when he jumps down, he's going to be he's pretty easy target to hit. So you can save your rockets for when he jumps down like this. Pretty easy to hit. Get a little bit more damage on him and then get out of there. Alright, so we're in the second phase of it, the lasers now. So we've got another set of ads. Try to get a few of them down as quickly as you can. And then, but just repeat the process. Stay down this channel. The nice thing about this back area of the channel is behind both of these pillars is the 2 safe areas from the lasers, so you're keeping yourself in a nice line. See there again, like I said, those guys will try to move up, and one of them to each of the corners. As long as you take those guys out, the rest of them will kind of stay at the back. You can kind of creep around the side if he does move a little bit. Yeah, this section is much easier to manage. A little bit slow, but you know, you just kind of stay up here, try to stay out of the lasers, and just move back and forth between this channel. Keep an eye on the lasers at your feet and above you. Just try to keep awareness. But this is one of the safest spots right here because you can get up next to the wall and prevent angles there, and then this is on your left side, so you can kind of sit here and do a lot more damage to him because he really can't hardly shoot you. Try not to let him get too close because he will back out, and then we're going to use our super here. There we go. That was killed him, and now he's dead. Easy peasy.
He's already knee deep in another simulation.
Alright, so we're going to go straight from this. I'm going to show you this pattern works with pretty much all the classes. This is the 3 classes that I think it's the easiest with. Obviously Golden Gun with Nighthawk is very powerful. Now we're going to go to the Titan Sunbreaker. Same thing. Like I said, if you get here and you have it, great. If you don't have it, or if you happen to die during the boss, you know, it's okay to just build up your super. Get through one phase and get that drop from the Minotaur and switch out, and then you can reset it and start the whole sequence. So you get a much easier sequence overall. So now that we have our rockets up, we don't have our grenade up. We want to try to be as powered up as we can at the beginning here. And again, like I said, I like to use the back of this pillar. You can really do the rally barricade anywhere. I feel it's a little bit safer up here with this angle. In case he starts moving or something. I went a little too early there. But yeah, we're going to get him to teleport pretty much right away. Or not teleport, but leave the fight right away. I shot one rocket a little too early there, so I had to shoot him a few more times. Normally he'll go right away. On the burns, sometimes he'll leave after 4 rockets, so you can use, if you have 5 or 6, you can use the extra couple to chunk down the ads immediately right away, get rid of the Cabal or a chunk of the Harpies. But again, the good thing about getting him out of the fight is either the snipers never spawn, the extra Cabal never spawn. It just makes it much more easy to manage. And again, I like to use this pillar here on the right side of the wall. Very, very safe. It's probably the safest place in this room. You can, like I said, you can still get hit if you allow yourself to get surrounded. But overall, if you move back and forth and use the angles, there's not a whole lot of enemies to do to you. You just gotta keep an eye out on the Harpies. I like to kill the Harpies first. You don't even have to, but might as well. It's not worth taking chances to leave them up. Yeah, they will sometimes get right up on you and they can do a decent amount of damage. So as long as you're aware, you should be fine. Minotaur is pretty easy, can't melee you, and his primary fire is pretty weak. Again, we're going to do the coil glitch here to get some ammo. Now, you'll notice I forget to do this in the second part, and I pick up the heavy brick before switching, so don't do that. But it's more important on this first stage because we want to have a couple rockets here. So now with this super, since it takes time to add, I could probably dump all my rockets here. I like to get 2 or 3 out, and then I want to have a couple left just in case I need them. More so preparing myself for prestige mode, where I can't really do the ammo glitch. So, but anyway, you make a U around here, come up to the high ground. The reason why I like this is now I can use my super. Now I'm hitting the boss, but I'm also getting rid of a lot of the ads as well. Using this high ground to kind of position him, to force him to jump up to me, lets me kind of prepare myself. Now I've got a lot of the ads out of the way. Now I can kind of maneuver back here to the back of the room, deal with the Harpies. They're pretty easy. Make sure there's no snipers up. And yeah, we're just gonna kind of keep moving so we don't get surrounded by the Harpies and deal with them. Gives us a lot more room to work with back here. There's not too many lasers. I could pop a barrier up here, barricade if I needed to. But, you know, not too hard once you get down to a couple left. And we can just slowly pick down the Minotaur. You can use the same thing. You can jump on the middle block in the middle of these high blocks, or you can just kind of jump back and forth up here on the high-low and force it around. One thing you have to be aware of, the Minotaur will teleport around a little bit, and you have to watch the lasers. Don't get yourself fried. See, this is why I have a couple of rockets left over to deal with him as well. Don't be afraid to use them to clear the Minotaur with the ads. We're gonna get him back as long as we're on normal mode. And switch over to. See, here's where I made the mistake. I forgot. See, I knew it right away. Oh, I picked it up before I switched, so now I only have 1 rocket. So I could have had 5 going to this last stage. Not that big of a deal going to the last stage. Just makes it a little quicker. As you saw in the Hunter, I get more damage on him. And now I'm gonna have to whittle him a little bit more manually. Not as bad since I have a pretty good grenade. But again, we're gonna use these channels. Draw the ads and the boss down. Once we draw them down, we move to the other side. Focus the ads first. Now I gotta remember, since I'm in this channel a little bit, if there is an ad up, there's a chance he may move forward in the channel. Checking it. Nope. Now I'm back over. And this is the easiest kite. I don't like going around in a circle, but if you get yourself into unnecessary trouble. Again, if you just stay at the kind of the back of the room, you just go back and forth. Pretty easy to kite him back. He'll jump down. As soon as he jumps down, we can jump up and have a little bit of time on the ads, and then repeat. Again, all my play times of him, he's never walked to the back of the room and jumped down that way. He always seems to only jump down in front of you. So, I mean, you don't really have to be risky like that. You can just take a few shots and jump over. Slow, but easy if you want to be a little bit more safer, and if you don't feel like you're quick enough to react. Again, this back side also, again, the pillars give us cover from the lasers. if he kind of moves out and moves up, you can just kind of stay here until he goes back down. And a lot of times you can stay here for a second or two too to keep working on him a little bit, work on the ads a little bit. If he moves up too close to you, just get out of there and get to the other side. See, there again, we got to be aware of that guy when we move over. There's going to be one that moves up. Nearly died there, so definitely got to be a little more careful. I stayed in the other channel a little too long, trying to get more extra damage on him. Probably should have stuck with the pattern a little bit more and moved quicker to keep myself a little more out of trouble. But even, you know, eventually we're going to build up our super here, and we'll get it to finish him off. Again, this is probably the safest spot right here because we can. His gun is on his right hand, so you know we always want to place a pillar on our left. And just kind of be patient with it. Again, like I said, if he moves up on it, you can use behind us, or you can hug the wall on the right side of it, depending if there's no lasers and he can't really hit you. Alright, he's just about dead, so we're going to activate our super on him here in just a second and finish him off. Force him to jump down one more time. Again, most of the time he will not continue forward and he won't try to jump down on this side, so. Get out of line of sight of his weapon. Just smack him in peace. And he's peasy.
It's always in the honor, Guardian.
There we go, there's the Titan. Works also really well with the Striker. Haven't tried it with the Sentinel, but I'm sure you could probably do something similar with the Sentinel. Probably a little harder to get damage on him in the second phase, but we're going to do the Warlock. Again, we're going to just clear out the ads. You're pretty safe up here. And I've got 5 rockets again. So even if you don't have a reload, dodge, or the rally barricade, even with the Warlock here, it's still possible. That's why I like this. If you stay at the back of this platform and use this angle, he can't really hit you. Chuck a grenade on him, and I can just sit back here. I can usually get 4 rockets on him, at least. I'm keeping on top of my screen. I'll look out for those to fall, because if you see them coming there, they're going to launch grenades. If you stand on that platform too long, you'll get stuck by their grenades because they'll throw them before they even jump down. And here I'm being a little risky because I'm using the Devour. I could just kite around the circles here, but being a little aggressive with Devour, but that's a good thing about Devour. It's nice. Again, we're going to get rid of Cabal and maybe a couple Harpies, and then we can go use the safe spot here in just a second. And also not even necessarily use the pillar, you can stay back here, funnel stuff in, kill it quickly, but once he starts chasing you, it can be kind of annoying. Again, just don't get too focused on this pillar in one direction or one enemy. Make sure you're watching, because those Harpies sometimes will creep up behind you. But once you get them down, it's super easy to just help this guy from here. WardCliff this for the extra ammo on normal. And even on Prestige, I think it's better to do it in this pattern. Because Prestige, you're going to have to do it when you first get here. There's not going to be power up. So if you do the strike right, you should have 6. So you can dump, and you should be on a burn, so you can dump 4 into him and a grenade, and he'll leave, and that leaves you 2 rockets and your super for the second part. See, now he's already gone. We're in the second phase. I only got a handful of Cabal that I have to kill. So I'm going to get up here and use my Devour. And you know, if you can manage to stay out of sight a little bit when right after you kill the boss, the Vex and the Cabal will kind of fight each other, so they can help you out a little bit. But yeah, we're just going to kind of sit back here and use the back of the room to a little more space down here to finish taking out the Harpies. I'm not moving real well here because I got Devour, and once Devour is going to save myself, so from as long as I can get one down, it's kind of a bad habit, but I like taking advantage of that Devour. I probably could have tossed a grenade a long time ago on the Minotaur, since the Devour kills are re-stacking my grenade, but almost got killed there. Gotta pay attention when the Minotaur starts chasing you around. If you're gonna sit still and work on a Harpy, you get to realize where he is, and he might run up behind you. Plus, he does kind of teleport. If you stay too far away from him, he will kind of teleport to some weird spots. Alright, once you get him down, again, we're gonna coil. Don't forget to switch to the coil. Give us extra rockets for the final phase. Again, I like to use Sins at this point because you don't have to worry about reloading. I can just fire when we're jumping back and forth in the channels here. I can fire one and leave and not worry about reloading it. And I'll get one on him eventually later. I like to use the other cluster rockets because at the first stage, because the smaller blast radius, you're less likely to kill yourself when you're on that platform, and they do reload a little faster. So if you really want to do it perfectly, yeah, I would do the I forget what it's called right now. It is the curtain call. Sorry, you can start out with the curtain call. And then move to Sins for the second 2 phases. I feel like is the best call. And again, I can be a little more aggressive because of the Devour. I really don't need to move forward. I can get myself into that much trouble. I can get back and forth, but I got a couple rockets to burn here. Being a little over aggressive with the Warlock, but again, same basic principle. Force him to jump down to you. You could even stay in one channel, honestly. You can just jump back in and out of this one, probably, if you really wanted to. Yeah, every once in a while he'll threaten like he's gonna come and reverse it, but he almost never does. Careful with these lasers. Yeah, if you play this really safe, this isn't too hard using this technique. You can play this really safe by only taking a couple pot shots and moving to the other side, take a few shots, move back and forth. If you're really struggling with it and really want to be safe. and this is stupid of me right here. I have no need for the Devour. There's not more ads there. I'm just putting myself in a terrible position. No reason for me not to just force me to waste a grenade to heal myself there. When all I really had to do was shoot the Cabal a couple more times, jump back down into the channel on this side. I would have had a grenade up on him. Now it was kind of bad timing with the Nova because he charged me. Didn't get as much of the after effect damage as I would have liked. The best would have been to probably throw the Nova first as he's jumping, so that he has to land in it and stand there for a second, and then I could have shot the rocket with him. So I kind of did that sequence a little bit backwards there, because I wanted to do it a little bit more. And you may be able to do a single jump and grab the edge of these walls if you need to get out, if you need to do kind of a real short jump if that laser wall is there. And again, we can use this filler on the left side here. Not too bad. And again, I'm pretty sure this kind of pattern and technique should work with pretty much all the classes, depending on how you want. And like I said, it does technically work a little bit better with the burns, because you'll really only need 4 rockets on the first part and a grenade. Even 3 in a good grenade might work. And then a couple rockets in the super will get you through the second phase a lot quicker. And, you know, that will only leave you a few in like a prestige mode with the burns. But that should do it. Anyway, till the next one.